5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
Yes. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? You are live with Neve. And I am sorry, my guest for today, we were trying to have her on, and she's here. Angela, I'm so sorry we couldn't get you on in time. I promise we will have you back on the next time. And I'm sorry, it just, unfortunately, we couldn't get the tech issues worked out. But the next time I call you, we will have it worked out ahead of time. And I can't wait. So Angela's watching. We were going to have a show, but I was going to wait until I bring Mandy on to talk about it because, in fact, now we'll have Angela on with Mandy with this new show idea. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take the script and throw it out for a minute and just bring her on. Hey, how you doing? Introduce you to our friend Angela. She's watching, and she is a cool lady, and that's all I can say. Nice. She grew up in a musical family. Mm-hmm. And she was a fan, just watched the show, and one day we got to chatting after the show, and she's really cool. And then, like, I just pitched you about my idea as I was trying to get her on, I was thinking, you know, this would be better if I had a couple of other ladies in rock and roll or soul or rock and it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, in the music biz, like in it, you know.
When I was a kid, I had a friend of mine's mom. She played in a country western band down in Florida. Uh-huh. And this is when I was about 16. I'd just going back and forth between Florida and New York all the time because I went to school up here and was go down in the summer. But it was so cool to me. Me and my friend were like 17, and we go out. You could drink at 18 back in those days, and we'd go and watch his mom play. And she had a set of Ludwig drums. She had a big old Fender Bassman, like really nice. Now it's probably worth like $3,000. Yeah. But I thought it was so cool. I had a great and very cool mom, but she had absolutely no musical talent. She would never want to get up there and you know, put herself out. She had a German piano teacher who told her mom that mom was a menace to society on the piano because of her lack of ability. Up. And she'd like whack their knuckles and stuff. A real old bitch of a piano player, teacher. But my mom didn't want to do it anyway. And eventually she got an organ, and even now she could probably play like that book of standards that sits on all the organs that like when you're a kid, you go to somebody's house, it's got like Little Brown Jug.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But yeah, so Angela, I'm sorry, we will have you on. It's just when we get to the last 10 minutes and we're having problems, it makes it hard to recover from. And I'd rather not do that on the air because sometimes, you know, it just flounders. But you know, there's some crazy news going on. I've got to get everybody's spin on it. Now, there is a lot of bad news, which you're going to hear in a lot of other places. So as usual, I'm going to do my best to find the things that have some either prurient or musical or funny or something that'll keep us amused rather than just sitting here. I don't want to get people fighting right now. There's too many.
Yeah, nothing too serious. I don't need to think right now.
I'm like Yahoo unserious today.
Okay, very much awesome.
So, okay, first we have, that's not unserious. Oh, this is good. U.S. vets sneaking Americans out of Gaza. Way to go, guys. Okay, well, this is good news. This is not like bad news. This guy, they call him, you're nobody till they give you a name.
Yeah, till you get a nickname.
There he is.
It's Crypto Creep.
The Crypto Creep. He sounds like Dr. Evil's dude who lurks around in the basement, you know. And he looks like a real douche from like a fraternity somewhere. And he's pretty much what he is. He's snaggled. He's like the Madoff of this generation. This guy just raked it down using algorithms. He totally screwed everybody involved. So he's
What did he do? Who did he steal from?
like all of our parents and stuff who had stock market and they invested in him. He's just one of those guys that had I'm getting you. I tell you again, people, I told you this morning, when somebody tells you that it's such a great asset to invest all your money into it was like marijuana stock a couple of years ago. There was a time you could make a pile of money. And I will tell you that we invested in a little bit when it was just perfect timing. We got it. It went up. We bought more. It went up. And then we sold it. But then everything, there was so many out there that they all just dropped. And I was just lucky because we certainly had no game plan. It was just something we were like, everybody was talking about it. But the crypto creep's the kind of guy who'll tell you, you're going to get, 90% on your earnings. And you're like, okay. A lot of the people were gullible, first-time investors. He's just a skank. They're really no scum good. Of the earth. So we give him a pox and put the voodoo hex on your butt. In other fun news, let's see. The new Speaker of the House once blamed the fall of the Roman Empire on homosexual behavior. Okay. If it's working for you, I don't know what to tell him.
The fall of the Roman Empire and homosexual behavior?
Yeah.
Is it because they weren't reproducing enough?
I don't know, but he looks like one of those guys who's like really fun at parties. Either you just walk away quickly because if you get in a conversation with him, you'll have him follow you around the chihuahua.
No, that's a real thing. I fall victim of that.
Oh, no, God.
Yeah, I know more people's life stories than I really need to know.
Right. Well,
it's just like...
I dig it. It's not bad when it's a friend of mine who's, going through trouble. I always try to counsel him. But every once in a while, I hear weird things like from some of our guests that,
I get things from strangers. Like sometimes I'll be at shows. People just start talking. I'm, and I'm just like,
hey,
I'll listen. Like, that's fine. But,
at
the end of the night, I back into the bushes.
Well, I love that back into the bushes. In fact, I wish I had some bushes. I need a new backdrop. This is the view from Susan Fine's house, one of our biggest fans. It really is.
That's really from her house? Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
From, up in the city, up by the UN.
We should take a field trip to see her. We should take a
road
trip.
We just bring her
That
goods,
would be fun to do over the summer for like random.
Yeah, or maybe go over there during the holidays and bring her some Hanukkah cheer. So let's see. There is some interesting news here, and just some funny stuff. So please, if any of my innuendo gets you upset out there, don't even call this weekend. There's too much bad stuff going on in the world. But if anything I say offends you, send us $5. Okay, send us $10. 5 for her and 5 for me.
There's worse shit out there than this.
There is, absolutely. Just turn on your television. There's some real filth out there. If you want filth, people, we're not doing that for $5. So forget about it.
Yeah, seriously.
We have
can
some
go hard,
scruples.
so.
We definitely have scruples, but I have a selection of weird human tricks. I'm double jointed, and I can kind of do some kind of weird mime thing. I hated mimes, and I still do. People who do that mime thing all the time. It's like, I don't want to be in a box, It's like, I'm looking for a 2x4 to force my way out of there. Typical drummer shit. Well, now here's a real story that brings us to the past and to the future today, where things get weird in our court system. Charlie Chaplin versus America. Now, I don't know if anybody knows, but there's a new book about Charlie Chaplin. And everybody knows him as the little guy. And he was one of the most popular men of his time. And he's so huge. You have to think of somebody like John Wayne back in his day. This guy was really in demand.
Yeah.
And he's basically a real leftist. And at the time, the FBI was doing the whole Hollywood blacklists and stuff. And what happened is he just got caught in the wrong time. So I'm going to keep this clinical, people, so that we don't offend anybody too much. You'll get it. We can fade to black at the end of it. But to make a long story short, a detective, somehow got a hold of footage of him. Let's just say him and his married wife, mind you, they were having a boxed lunch, bento box. They were in flagrante delicti. He was going down on her, and somehow they took pictures of this.
Uh-huh.
Then at the time there was
Was he wearing his little mustache?
I don't know
was
if he
that
had
in
it
the
on or not.
report?
She might have liked that though. I mean, I've been told it's a little soul patch.
Sorry.
I don't know. I've tried it.
I digress.
I digress too. I'm not saying another word. In fact, I just recently shaved, man. My face is all red. I had a beard like in 4 days, and I know it's just because I feel great, and I'm like, man, my hair's growing. I feel like an animal, you know.
November.
Well,
yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. But I already shaved. I had like it was great. But at any rate, so he got prosecuted for muff diving, basically.
Really?
And in the court case, in what must have been one of the funniest transcripts to read afterwards, there was some prosecutor. You know, those guys, they always. And I hate to say it, but psychologically, a lot of those guys are into the kink of being spanked and hung up and dominated, like lawyers, accountants. It's just a thing. I've been told by some of the ladies who do that and make a hefty amount of money. I'm like, they make a lot more money than I do. I don't know. That's more than I can afford. That's all I can say. And the thought of you know, just being pounded on, flogged by somebody doesn't seem to me the kind of thing that I've ever looked forward to.
Yeah,
so.
me You know, it's
just
funny.
like
me either. It's like I don't want pain.
Am I just
feel
like a
pain
total
every day
prude?
of my life. Like,
You know,
I'm a
right?
human.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want more pain.
Do I want to wear a ball? First, I like to talk too much.
Yeah,
I'm not putting that fucking thing in my mouth. You know, what can I tell you? So for all of you watching, Andrea, I'm sorry, I'm having dyslexic moment here. Angela, thank you, very nice. And no, it's meant to be because I definitely want you to be here. And by the way, Mandy is not just a special guest. She is the other yin to the yang of the Live with Neve show. She's the side that makes the show look good. I have a good face for radio, and she's here for all you guys because she's eye candy. I'm just here to tell jokes and, you know, get in trouble and, I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm here. Tell jokes and get in trouble.
Definitely. I know. I've seen you in action, you know, these redheaded women. So as I digress through this whole conversation, we've gotten through 14 minutes of time, which is cool. And we'll have to do a commercial in a moment. But before I do it, I'm going to just say this. This is a commercial for a guy I really like. We've had him on the show, and he did an ad with us. And I'm trying to get down here to where he is. Okay, it's Carlton Wilkinson. So I don't know. I don't pay attention to the back end of stuff like the little notices I get from Facebook or YouTube. I ignore them because they send me, every show they send me a takedown order, and I send them a already pre-written letter that tells them we have full promotional rights, permission of the author and publisher and the whole bit. And today I get like 10 takedown things, and they're all from us playing Carlton's ad. So I wrote them a dispute, and they still just have to fucking piss me off. You know, they can't just let.
Weird.
I've had 400 something shows. I've written 400 letters. No, 800. You think about it, and that's being conservative because there's really more like. There's like 180 shows that I don't even count because they were so lame. It was when I first started, and just some of them are things that shouldn't be seen by man. They'd be good outbits someday if we like have our set in LA or right on Times Square, which is, I think, that's where I'm shooting for. You know what I mean? Times Square. Let's bring back rock and roll right out there.
Listen, I'm New York to the core.
I mean,
and it's funny. I have plenty of friends in LA. It's like
great.
It would be honestly, like I have more connections there than here.
Me too.
But I'm just New York. You know, and now I'm here. Now I'm in New Jersey, so I'm gone. See you later.
The same thing now, because you know you can always get a room at the Warwick. It's like
it's really true. Everything's just kind of smushed together. Like at first I was reluctant to get back down here, but now that I'm here, you know.
And there's good food. I mean, and you live up where my son lives, up in Rochester. In fact, you were in Monroe, right?
Well, yeah, that's not as far up though. Rochester's about a 5-hour drive from Monroe.
Oh, well, I meant I'm talking about Monroe County, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's
which
up
is
there.
over right there by you know, they have a big place on the lake, like an amusement park.
Yep.
Wooden roller coaster and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, Lake George?
No, this was on Erie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I used to take my son there, and now he's a big 6'4", like 6 hamburger eating dude, which is cool. I look up at him. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I never beat on this kid when he was young.
Yeah.
Give me a sock. But at any rate, people, definitely buy Carlton Wilkinson. This guy is a very cool artist. In fact, he's so cool that I'm not only going to play his thing, but I'm going to make a note here. Carlton, if you're watching, mate, we need to change up your song. It's time for a couple of new songs off the CD. I'm just getting tired of them myself because I hear them every show. And I think we should I'm going to cut him a couple of new tracks off the CD. And people, the guy's got a PhD in music, and when you hear it, he's got his reasons for it. He's a deep well. Every tune on the album's really different.
Yeah, it's very multi-layered. It's
yeah,
very yeah.
We've heard these two for a while, and they're good songs, but there's a couple of them that you'll just go, wow, it's almost, I don't know, Peter Gabriel-esque is how I would put it. It's cool, like almost, it's tribal. It made you feel good, you know. I kind of got that groove thing going. It's like, Sting's in the house. We're going to do that. Ding, ding, ding.
No, don't do that. just play it. Don't do that.
Yeah, speaking of metal, man, the guy today was outrageous. Ted, it was just, those guys, that's that video that we did where I played Satan, which was great fun.
Nice. Oh, yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
And Angry Corpses.
Nice.
They're
nice.
very, very angry, and they are funny as shit.
I believe it.
You know, that's what the thing is that the civilian world doesn't get about metal. First off, the guys are all like really mellow.
They are the nicest. They're like big teddy bears. I used to say that all the time.
True.
I played so many metal shows, and like, listen, no offense to the current, but I've had plenty of metal boyfriends because they're like big teddy bears. They're just like, you know, and it's like to look at them, they're like, bah! But it's like, that's good. That's good. I want that. I like that.
It's great. You know, I just realized my hair is long enough now that I could do the heavy metal. I probably get a bad neck from it. But you know how it's like the guy in Cannibal Corpse does it for like 3 hours. The guy's head's moving. And I'm just like, I think he's got like concussive brain damage at this point, just because he's been doing it so long.
Or he has like surgery. I wonder if he has like, you know, some sort of like Wolverine implant where his neck is like ultra neck now. It's like
I'm telling you, I would take the Ultraman. I've got the steel arm done, and if they could do the wrists and the arms, I like that idea. But it's a real long recovery time, so I don't know. We'll skip on that. But let's give a listen to Carlton, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk some more smack, people. You're live with Neve. It's a little past the hour.
There's some changes headed, like the Gulf Stream rising, like some gale that's been blowing off this wild bird island shore. And I can't say where, and I don't know when, but some old door's been opened in the restless shade. Poor man sagging cigarettes takes the subway.
We've got trumpeter Greg Adams.
Hi, I'm trumpeter Greg Adams, and I'm live with Neve.
Like a melting flake of snow.
There's some Irish guy named Darren A. Flynn. He's very, very Irish. He could be Mandy's brother. He could be her husband. He could be
I'm Darren A. Flynn,
her boyfriend.
Singer-songwriter from Ireland, and I'm on
whisk
live
her away
with
to
Neve.
Ireland. A rose in the haze of Highlands.
It couldn't happen here.
And we definitely dig her. She's so sweet.
Hey guys, I'm international singer-songwriter Hira, and I'm on Live with Neve. See you guys soon.
So cute. I just want to pinch her cheek. I swear to God, she's so cute.
Nice.
I swear to God, I've been watching her career just blow up really good. And it's nice. I always love to see young people doing well in music and not being like all psycho and crazy like some people that we know. I mean, what can I tell you? It's not always, but it seems like a lot of the younger musicians, I've met some really hip young musicians who are into jazz and stuff. And it gives me a lot of hope just that there's just people like we were who we're musicians. We've either played in band or in our garages. But you just, once you got it, some people it's a calling. I truly believe that. It's not just like something. I know a lot of people who've dropped off along the road for obvious reasons. It's a hard life, and I mean a lot of people think musicians like have a lot of money, but it's the hardest gig. And people don't realize, they say, well, a lot of musicians have mental health issues. And it's like, well, first off, their whole family
You might not
for
be wrong.
20 years, they may not be. I don't think they are. In a lot of cases, you got people who they work their ass off on a dream.
Yeah.
It's constantly brutalized by club owners who are like, we're not paying you this any more than you. And they're ruthless, and they're like, look, I know I was talking to somebody that we like, a friend of ours, and he was telling me that there's a band. I was going to try and book them at a club that I like, and they play there. The guy said it was because the metal bands will just sell more beer, because the people who come to see this kind of music just aren't like hard pounding it. They're a little more sophisticated. And I can see that purely from a business perspective. But I told him to think outside the box, and that maybe the trick is to let's just get you into this next layer of booking. And I say the same thing to you, because the guy that I met today is really helpful. In fact, I'm going to send our buddy Dave, because it's like all you guys need is a good booking agent, and then you can like do what you got to do instead of like having to call and scrounge and call these fuckers. I mean, sorry people if you don't like that word.
Because you get treated like poop, and it's like, and it's like vice versa. It's very hard to
get self-respect sometimes. You work for so little money sometimes, and if you didn't like it, it's just like. I mean, I know, because I've booked bands since I was a kid. It's like it started for me almost with the paper route. Once I realized, it was at a young age, I just got lucky, but I realized I could get paid a little money playing music, and it's still that way. It feels so great, but even now, it's like, unless you're playing with a really good band or you have like a corporate gigs, there's a lot of places you can make a pretty good living, but it's not like trying to go out and do it all yourself. And, like, I used to sit and say about tribute bands, well, oh my God, I'd never play in one of those. But I take it back completely, because at least you can get treated like a human being. You're not treated like some kind of farm animal that I'll give you a few drinks, and then they, charge people like crazy prices, or don't give you a break on dinner. There's just like, there's a way. Once you get to that level where people just treat you decently, and that's, I think, what most musicians are out and about. But
I think
it's
some
hard.
people just don't realize anyone who is a decent musician has put in so much time.
Yeah.
So much time that think of how much time a non-musician thinks, and 10 times that. 100 times that.
Especially, you're lucky if you were, as a kid, you started doing something, because like you have that natural advantage. And I think some people are just wired right. Look at Buddy Rich. I mean, I'm a damn good drummer, but I'll never be Buddy Rich, and I know it. I don't lose any sleep at night. I studied him, and I do the best I can, but that guy was wired to be a drummer, and he also started in vaudeville at around age 5.
Yeah, see, that's an amazing thing, and that's what people fail to realize is it's the cumulative effect of all the practicing year after year after year after year. It's nonstop.
And then being in like basements in cold in the wintertime, you're talking to your friends, and it's like you got to get in your car and move gear, and you have parents who have to move it for you.
Yeah, so treat these people right,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, just have a little respect, you animals. You guys are on bars, you need to.
Yeah, we're fucked up, and it's like it's almost like a OCD thing where it's like gotta practice. That's how I was when I was a kid. It's like I get pretty psycho. My poor colleague who's passed away, God rest his soul, but JR, I used to drive him crazy because I valued like getting time in a nice room where we could be in there. Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, I'm gonna get 4 hours, and then we'd have 8. I'll pay for another 4, and then he'd start to get tired and be like grumpy. One time I told him to come in right before COVID. Like the day before, that was like the last session I got him in for. Mm-hmm. And he was happy because COVID, they had that term, shelter in place. I hadn't heard that yet. And it just pissed me off because I called the session guitar player and said, listen, nobody's out on the roads.
Yeah.
We can go in the studio, you can mask up. We'll never even be in the same room together. Over at Bulletproof.
Oh,
and
nice.
JR goes, I'm not doing it. Yesterday, you stayed here. You said you were going to be here for like 2 hours, and you stayed here for like 8 hours, 9 hours, and you didn't even buy us lunch. I told him, I said, I'll buy you lunch on the way home. And he was like, it was funny. I miss him so much.
Yeah, that is funny, though. I'd be the same way. I'd be like, no, you roped me into it once.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not doing this today. That's just ridiculous. In fact, I told him, I'll buy you dinner on the way home. He was I wish I had just that look and the voice of him doing it, because we were friends for such a long time that he really got me, like, as a friend. And sometimes he'd just be like, oh, God. And I'd be like, come on, dude. I know, I have faith in you. At any rate, he was one of the best engineers that I've ever, worked with, and a best friend. And gosh, there's not a day that I don't just think of him. Even every time we play that Manhattan, the song, I think of recording it, and we had so many laughs in there. It's just like what we're doing is we're putting a movie together, and it's more than I can do. So I've got a friend of mine who's a really good editor, and I learn every time I do something like this. I can edit okay, but I don't want it just okay. I want this to look really good. So he's agreed to help me edit it, and I have film of us with like sessions over 2 or 3 years, because it just gets kept put in the back of the burner. So stuff would come up, we'd be gigging, or like my guitar player quit, and then I had to take all his parts off the album because fuck you, man. No, at the time we were like hating on each other, There's no hate there now, Jack. I love you, man. How at first, though, we were like, I was like, fuck him, man. And he knows it. He was saying the same thing. We were like both, it's like when you got a brother almost. When you fight with him, it can be a vicious thing.
Yeah, it can. It can hurt more, yeah.
Like, it was funny, because after it all got done, it's cool, because the friendship we have now, I just didn't have him figured out. Like, I'm so over the top and always in his face, and he's the kind of guy who has to think, and like I'm just too much for his nervous system. Like, it makes him uncomfortable because I'm always pushing, and he needs to sit and digest on it. And what would happen is my natural exuberance, I would kind of bully him out of the way, and he wouldn't say what was really on his mind. And I didn't mean to do it. It wasn't like, it's just me being a spaz. it's all I could say.
Yeah, I know what you're
like,
saying,
I'd be like, come on, man, hurry it up, or I'd talk him into a gig or something. And I realize now, like, if we played together, which both of us, that band has done its time. So I always feel like looking forward rather than backwards. It's always the next thing that's going to be cool and fun. And, Speaking of which, I'm going down to Knoxville Monday, and I'll be there through Thursday.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be rehearsing and learning all the new tunes with Gina. We're doing the book tour thing, so
excellent.
We're going to get our pictures taken, and I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to cut my hair. It's one of those tough decisions. I kind of like it, but at the same time, it's a pain in the ass.
Well, you can cut it all off, make a wig, and then wear your own wig when you want.
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, I have to. If I had to come, I had my Howard Stern wig for Halloween. I had it all ready, and boots. I thought I'd make a kind of convincing Howard. The wig's pretty crazy, and it's like, just for a second, because it's like old Howard, like when he looked like he's Joey Ramone or something.
Yeah,
remember that?
I know exactly
he was like
what you mean.
Big hair and shit. So before we go, there was just a couple of other funny things that I have to point out about the news. I'm sorry, folks, but sometimes truth is just stranger than any fiction. So aside from Charlie Chaplin getting arrested and charged and took to court, when he was accused of having eaten a boxed lunch, he said, "I thought all married people did this." Most honest answer I've ever heard in a court of law ever. And just like, get out, why do you even care what this guy's doing? I think the prosecutor's like some kind of weirdo peeking in the back window. Pop him in the mouth. What are you looking in my window? You know what I mean? It's a kind of creepy dude. And then this is just a story that, I don't know why, but it's absurd. Chimps use military-style tactics to gain an advantage on rivals. And, some chimps will pick up a stick and beat the shit out of the other one with it. They've been known to use tools. And I guess, to me, it makes total sense. I mean, if you look at psychoaggression and human and neurobiological terms, we're all wired. We could go caveman at a couple of weeks without food. True. People can really regress to a low level of being. A smart man once said the last war will be fought with sticks and stones. Remember that, all you folks out there who have your finger on a button.
That's a true thing. That is a true
I mean,
thing.
you
Don't
know,
even get me started with that sort of thing.
No, we're going to avoid any of that stuff. But here's a good story. Vermont is like the top list of safest, most boring, and full of meth head states you'd ever want to go to.
Oh, for sure.
It's actually one of the safest places, but there's a guy, his name is Nick. If you guys out there, my girlfriend and I on the weekends will look through YouTube of houses like all over the country, like various, like we look and watch this guy, Nick. He has it's like Nick does drive-in tours through cities like I would do them. He's a funny bastard.
Nice.
He's like, they're trying to fix this up. This place is really a shithole, you know? And he tells it like it is. And then after you watch a few of these, like I've determined so many spots in the country, and I've been through a lot of them and seen some really nice things. But he tells you city by city around the United States what's cool, what's good, and what really sucks. And then he has some shows that are just like the worst places in Vermont. It's kind of funny sometimes because like we were looking in Vermont and Maine, thinking a nice waterfront, something like that.
Yeah, those are nice places.
But there's really like there's the Bangor Airport in Maine. It's kind of a bad place to have to travel and have a job in life. But what was I going to say about it? Where is it? I went from the chimps to look at my. Anyway, I don't know. It's Friday. I got to have a cup of tea and wake my ass up. So we got the chimps are getting monkey-like and chasing each other around, beating each other with sticks. Gina, how are you, babe? We got everybody. Look at this guy.
Gina, how's it going?
Oh yeah, almost cut my hair. I like that. It may happen.
Oh, hey, Bill.
There he is. I love this guy, man. Great band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and do some sound working for these gents. And,
nice.
It'll be great fun. In fact, it's just almost like, I love doing sound. I love just doing anything at a gig, whether it's front of house or mixing monitors or whatever, It's just, I like being there gigging. I'll do whatever, It's just the general atmosphere. Once you get a taste of it, although I do find it, it's funny when you stay sober, man, how like the drunks, how much I have really fun with them. I send them on errands and stuff. It's like terrible. I'm doing, there's sometimes you can put rats in a maze and it's nice to try and program them. So
no, I know exactly what you're saying.
But they're fun because as long as they're good natured, people having fun, I'm having fun, life is good. I just have to say, I don't know about you, in spite of all this bad stuff going on in the world, everybody I know is out here working our ass off. We're trying to make a life. We got kids and family and parents and crazy uncles and, friends. And okay, so take care, Gina. I hope you're having a great show this weekend. I don't know. I live vicariously through Gina's various.
Yeah, she does a lot of great things.
She's got great stuff, man. These girls
tapes.
and
that's how old I am. Tapes. Did you hear what I just said? Yeah, I know. Ty makes fun of me all the time. I was like, I gotta go to tape something. He's like, what do you mean tape? I was like, just record.
Just be quiet. Here, you know what you say to the kids? Hand them a cell phone. Yeah, Gina rocks. She's the best. Thank you for watching, Gina. Like I said, even though we don't have a guest some days, it's fun to come on and just crack up about the world. Some of the stuff here is just so. It's just like, here's a headline again. It's like I feel like I'm reading 1984. I'm joking, but bad night's sleep could actually make you feel better. If you say it in a real advertising sense, it makes you go, wow, I want shitty sleep.
That's dumb.
Bad night's sleep could actually make you feel better.
Starts. That's seriously how mind control starts. That's one of those things where I would be like, watch out where the source of that information is coming from, because they're probably going to want to weaken your condition.
Ability to reason. Your ability to reason. They want.
Exactly.
I tell you guys, if you're out there and you want to learn about what makes us tick, go on YouTube and watch Dr. Robert Sapolsky. For all of you people out there who are just into reading something weird and cool and learning about it'll make you actually laugh at why we do things. You'll go, oh my God, I'm exhibiting primate behavior here. I better stop. I mean, sometimes primate behavior is fun, but damn, you can't do it. Like that last time I tried to climb the flagpole at the bank, they got really upset. I ended up on cops. It was like a bad day. At any rate, Yeah, so that was one of the headlines of the day here. Let's see what else we have. This is creepy, man. They have an AI Whitney Houston at 60.
Oh no, I don't know.
Oh
Listen,
man, it's
I
just
got
so
problems with
uncool.
that kind of creeps me out. Like that's like so soulless. Like leave the soul alone. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you know
not
they're gonna
here.
probably. I hope she has a good family, and I'm not gonna say I could say some things, but I just like. I guess Bobby Brown has passed this mortal
I
coil.
was just gonna say she
So-
better not be fucking
I
around
was
with Bobby
gonna say,
Brown. I'm just saying.
You know, I'm not fucking around. He's dead. He used to live when I lived in Mendham, New Jersey. He was one of my neighbors.
Oh,
And
yeah?
one night he was down at this place called the Black Horse Inn, which when I first came back from Florida to move here, I came in October 15th, like 12 years ago. And at that's where he hung out all the time. So my uncle and I were eating there and it was snowing. And I decided that night walking out, I'm fucking coming back to Jersey, man. I got no job. I've just gotten divorced. You know, my bands broke up. It's like a bad country song.
Oh my god, that was that was so me right before I had Kai. Like
Right?
that's it. I lost my job. I had no money. I had no
Yeah.
band. I had nothing.
But you know, it all those things though in life, man, they give you they give you common sense. Like
Yeah.
you really learn how to, make it.
It's the great leveler.
Oh yeah,
You know?
Bill's saying they lived in Highlands. That's true. They lived right down the street from. You come over, Bill, sometime. They're like literally lived down the street in this monster mansion that's down there. I heard they were crazy as hell, but when he lived in Mendham, one night he got drunk like he always did. He'd have a couple of his brothers with him, and what would happen is he got drunk and ran the car off the road, and they couldn't get it unstuck. So him and his boys call somebody. They come and pick him up, and then they go back to the house, and it was on TV and stuff. Like, police go up there, and Bobby's in there. He's in his hot tub talking to his lawyer, telling the cops to fuck off. He wouldn't let him
Watching
in.
himself on TV.
Yeah, it was on for like 2 or 3 hours or something. It was really crazy, And, I mean, nothing against Bobby, but man, that guy just ruined a great singer in person, man. God, he's just such a bad animal to be married to. I mean, if that dude was like marrying my sister or cousin or even somebody like your cousin, a remotely neighbor down the street, I'd be like, you can't marry this dude. You're out of your mind. The short-term advantages are far outweighed by the, any long-term relationship possibility. Trust me. I could just sell them. I've done some stupid shit too, and boy, it was expensive. And I'm just going to tell you, this is going to be expensive. So I'm looking to see if there's anything last that we can leave you on this note. There's nothing other than like people just acting stupid. Apple tumbles after warning of a dull holiday. Who cares? How much Apple stock you got sitting in your wallet?
0.
There you go. Me too. I bet a lot of us are wearing no, I'm not wearing one right now, but.
No, not even. Listen, I am getting by on such little money.
Yeah.
Everyone would be very impressed right now.
Absolutely. And that is something, though, that is really good. And I'll tell you, always people, if you got a lot of money, I used to be such a maniac with spending, but I learned like when I was totally broke to come up here and buy at a thrift store a suit or two. And I went to the New York thrift store. And I've got like a cashmere coat that cost $700 to $800. Got it for $50. I got a really nice Armani suit. That was the first thing I bought because I didn't have shit when I got here, and I had to go out on calls. Hey, Toby, how you doing, babe? Glad to see you.
Hey, Toby.
So then I went in the office, and they were all like freaked out because I was the only guy in the whole building that had a suit on.
Nah.
And my boss, being a cool guy, said, where's the wedding, or is there a funeral, he says. And I went, no, I didn't know what I was dressing for, And so this guy they had there he was a Sandler sales training executive. That's like the equivalent for a sales guy like me of getting the human thumb torture, like while they're waterboarding me. And they're like doing other bad things with, they're torturing me literally. Underwater, a little voltage now, having that. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm going to leave you on that note today. There's no other good news here other than remember this slogan. Bad night's sleep could actually make you better. How? We haven't a fucking clue. But, what are you doing? You got rehearsal this weekend?
Let's see. What do I? No, this weekend. This weekend's a quiet weekend for me on the music front, and but I have a lot of things. Like I have to finish up our webpage.
Ah, yes.
And do what else do I got to do? There was like something else like silly. Like just work on our calendar. Just
I get it. Yeah,
today
gotta be done,
like,
man.
Yeah, this weekend is like bookkeeping weekend.
Gotcha.
I got to get all my shit in order, and especially like this past week, like the last week's gig and then the Halloween and like just this week has been just it's been a blur,
Yeah, when you have I still remember well like a really crazy weekend and. You have to go to the regular job, and I know you work with kids.
And then you have a 9-year-old son. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God! And you have a 9-year-old son.
Yeah,
and I totally get it. It's like
so this week, like it kicked my ass. Like this is the first time I kind of sat and just kind of chilled out for a little. Yeah.
Well, good. Yep. Well, don't worry. My therapy company will send you a bill eventually, and just ignore it. I will. I'm really billing it to your neighbor. I'm billing it to your neighbor next door. We have it all set up. He won't know a thing. No, I'm kidding. All right, everybody. Well, be cool out there. Be calm. Don't freak out. Turn off the news for the weekend, because if there's something really bad, you'll probably know if it's really bad.
Yeah, you'll see the cloud outside.
Right. I mean, I'm going to be sitting here. I promise you, folks, if it hits, there's the Battle of New York going on. I'm going to be up on the roof broadcasting people, so that's all I can tell you.
You would too. And
I'm going to have my American flag. I'm going to be telling them to go suck an egg, man. Come and get it, you bastards. Because I know that if it really gets bad, I have about I'm thinking 60 seconds from the time it hits like Midtown till the blast wave just takes me into eternity.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like so close. It's scary.
Yeah, I got a couple more minutes.
Yeah. Okay. We got Bill here. He's saying have a great trip, but yes, not to hopefully to the thermonuclear holocaust. I'm kidding. He poor guy. He's like, what is he talking about? He probably typed that like 4 minutes ago or something.
Oh yeah, when you're talking about Knoxville.
Yeah, it's funny. It's actually 4:43. We might just yak for a minute, but I don't know. You got to go sort your sock drawer today. Amidst all your other stuff.
I actually do. Like if you saw funny. Like. It's bananas. My whole life is chaos. Like Listen, right now.
I'm just going to say I'm not the kind of guy who's really good about folding socks. If you go to Europe, here's a quick tip, people. Never bring more than 2 pairs of socks and underwear. Buy it. Because if you try to get a laundromat in Europe, I don't know what it's like now. I haven't been there in a long time. But trying to wash your clothes on the road is a pain in the ass. So if you think about what the hotel laundry will charge you if you give it to them to do some stinky old underwear you don't want to keep anyway, just go buy some cheap crap underwear and throw it away. You always have clean tidy whities or whatever you wear. And guys, men, if you want to keep a woman, don't ever wear tidy whities. I don't care what you look like. Do not put them on. They're just too incriminating. Some things, if you live with someone, you don't want to have to put them through. And pair of skid-marked old white tidy whities, man. No woman should have to go through that. I'm sorry. I'm giving marital advice to young men. I'm telling you guys. They need churching up. They need to come to like Uncle Neil's boot camp where we get them, like if they're really like, if they're like, I'm a pacifist, we're going to go smack them out of that really quick. I'm sorry, people, if you get upset with me. It's all in the name of fun. So don't worry. You can give me your little 9-year-old bastard and we'll send him back straightened out. He'll be washing your car. Saturday will come. You'll be busy around the house. You'll be like, what got into him? And we'll just tell him he's on payday now. He gets paid just a minimal amount. We'll have him brainwashed, man. The kid will work his ass off. It's just like going to Harvard or Yale, only better. It's like we'll teach them everything they need to know. Make them gentlemen. Remember, gentlemen win the day, people. In fact, I know most women will tell you that there is no such thing. It's just not there anymore. They've all died and walked off the planet. And
many have, yes.
I've heard that it's tough out there, ladies. So I wish you all well, because I know there's a whole lot of crazy going on. I'm trying to see. I thought I saw one more story with my jaundiced eye that might be kind of amusing. Oh, this is it. Barbara Streisand, who we just love. I love Barbara. I wish she'd have adopted me or something, In fact, you still can. Anyhow, hold on. What was I going to say? Her memoir is 48 fucking hours and 15 minutes. 48 hours.
What is it, a movie?
It's an audio talking book.
Ow! Ow!
Oh my God, they can use that to torture Russian spies.
Hours.
Oh my God, I mean, don't get me wrong, she sings beautiful, but her voice after 48 hours talking, she sounds like to me like the mother-in-law from hell.
I would think so. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Jeez, man, she must have, I don't know, man, she must have like some serious Kennedy-style numbers or something. I don't know what's going on with it, but damn.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we got a Kennedy running for office again, and it's the weirdest thing I've seen. Like, in fact, the whole, that's as brief as I'll go, is to make fun of the genuine political system. It's like all of a sudden the Kennedy pops up. Here we are like 50, 60 years later, and here's this guy. And you know what? I'll just say this. I like him better than a lot of people, just because he's like kind of normal, and he, you know, but I'll leave it at that. I found him funny as hell, you know. I just was cracking up. I was thinking, you know, some of the people were saying like he's a drunk and stuff, and I was like, well, he was a Kennedy. They're kind of all drunks.
Yeah, like they got some sort of substancism.
Oh, the whole family's had substance abuse from the 20s. They had a sister who they lobotomized this poor woman back in like the 20s and 30s. And I'll tell you a story about that off the air sometime about someone very close to me, and I know more than I should about the subject. And it was basically a very similar situation. Basically, I think her name was Rose Jr., I'm not sure, but the Kennedy young lady was promiscuous. And her family being like really psycho-Catholic couldn't have that in the 30s. Joe Kennedy was a real son of a bitch. He was a bootlegger, and he wanted his boys to win the presidency. He wanted every one of them to have it, you know. And as far as women in his mind, he wasn't really like, he didn't even care if he had a daughter. And then she started acting out. Basically, she just acted like any other 20-year-old when they, you know, start going wild. You go to college, things happen, you know. And he couldn't handle it, so they lobotomized her. She spent the rest of her life, you know, just out there. And it's one of those things. God. Like, the fact is, the Kennedy guy I'm talking about, though, he hasn't had a drink in 50 years. And, you know, by that standard, who the hell could be president anyway? Yeah. I mean, you know, you think about it. There's been some serious lushes in the White House. Yeah. They used to say Nixon would wander around at 3 or 4 in the morning babbling, talking of the statues. And Kissinger would be like, there's a joke, he'd follow him around with a notebook, writing down what he was saying just to, you know, blackmail him 20 years. Nothing would surprise me about those two, you know. They're so clandestine and spies. They were so stupid, man. Like, I hate to say it, but breaking into the Watergate Hotel, there's a movie out about it. There's Woody Harrelson in it. Did you see that? It was so funny, man. It's like, what a bunch of goobs, man. Like, this is the best. If that was the team that you're going to go do an armed robbery, I'd just be like, I'm going to prison. Just take me down there and lock me up. Tell them I'll take 15 years. It's just over. Yeah, save the embarrassment. Yeah. Well, listen, peeps, have a good one. I guess we're going to go. I'm going to definitely... Hasta la vista and all that fun stuff. Let me find some way to segue out of here. I'm bored with all this old stuff. So good things will be happening. I get off my ass while I'm on the plane and put on some headphones, and maybe I can whip up something fun, because we need to do that. The whole intro. It's like one of them's got my friend in it. Craig, and it's with his previous wife. Every time he comes on, he's got to look at that. It's just like, oh man, like, oh come on, oh man. And she sent me a friend request, and I'm a loyal guy to my friends. I'm like, you're not my friend. Just fuck off. You didn't care anyway. I'm just saying. Yeah. Craig's a good guy, and she kind of screwed him around a little bit. It happens to all of us, but sometimes I tell these people, you better. Just don't marry that person. You're fucking nuts. Live with them. Do something, but don't marry him. Yeah. If I say some people had only listened. I'm trying to get to the end here. Here's a new closing that's an old new closing. So see you, everybody. What the fuck? What is this? There's no music. I haven't seen this thing in forever. Well, goodbye, people. We're out of here. On that note, we're out of here. Oh,